Good evening, everyone, and a
Good
very warm
evening.
welcome from Rwanda. My name is Diane Mamararungu, and I'm the East African coordinator at Chess Queen Africa. And in the room, I'm with my colleague, Anza Robert, who is my co-host. He's the conservation agriculture leader at Chess Queen Africa as well. And together, we are so excited and honored. So this is Cultivate Africa, your virtual talk series designed to create a vibrant Pan-African community for everyone passionate about agriculture. Our mission is to bring together farmers, agronomists, researchers, as well as students to share their knowledge, discuss pressing challenges, and explore innovative opportunities shaping our agriculture system of soil-friendly. Earlier today, I was speaking with my colleague of mine who is a farmer. He told me something that stayed with me. He mentioned that the soil is no longer responding the way it used to respond. Every season feels more uncertain. You can understand climate change, and you can name the list of other cause of it. And what stayed with me was how does everything he knows, but the results still not be the same? Much effort that are put invested into agriculture to expect more results, but unfortunately, the results is not the same, is no longer the same. That made me wonder what needs to change. Is it the way that we farm, the way farmers farm, the way you farm, the way I farm, or the way we understand nature? And that is where today's topic comes in, agroecology, which is a historical approach that brings indigenous knowledge with ecological science to create sustainable and cost-effective solutions. It is also an approach that focuses on working with nature, not against it. So I want to invite you as you listen throughout this session, ask yourself, how can farmers facing these challenges begin to restore their soil and systems? So to guide us, we are joined with Mr. Mwanji George, who is the trainer at the College of Sustainable Agriculture for East African, where he delivers hands-on programs focused on climate-resilient farming practices. With over 6 years of experience teaching agriculture and strong background in agroecology, he has trained hundreds of students in sustainable agriculture, methods, and technologies. His work centers on promoting ecological farming approaches that are adaptable and resilient to climate. So, to begin our conversation, I want to pose one question to Mr. Mwanji. I know before you shared with me that you're a small scale farmer doing early sweet potatoes and vegetables. Would you share with us what inspired you to join agriculture?
Okay, good afternoon all. My name is Mwangi. I'm a trainer at College of Sustainable Ecological Agriculture, and I'm happy and humbled to be a part of this. So Diane, thank you for inviting me. Actually, I come from agricultural background. I was brought up in agricultural niche, agricultural area whereby we depended on farming entirely. So that one inspired me because it instilled agriculture inside me, and also it built up my desire to play a part in agricultural value chain, that is especially in production, in order to feed a growing population. So that is what inspired me to be in this field of agriculture. Yeah.
And if you would share with us from your experience, what do you say to a farmer who feels like their soil low fertility is no longer responding to the way it used to be, like the production has reduced? From your experience, what would you tell them or advise them that they should change or adapt?
What I would like to say is that the main problem is continuous farming. That problem arises from continuous farming, whereby they have been growing crops over and over, especially monocropping.
Mhm.
So, continuous cropping without giving soil time to rest, uh, it makes soil to lose nutrients to be degraded, to lose nutrients, and also it loses its biological balance, natural biological balance, and also it destroys the soil structure, and also it destroys its nutrient holding capacity because of continuous cropping. So I would advise those farmers to adopt mixed cropping and also things like composting, and avoid use of chemical fertilizers and other chemicals, because they are the ones which are bringing this problem. Yeah, I
Mm.
would urge them to focus on, I would call it agroecology. Yeah.
Agroecology in simple. So that's what we're also going to be talking about, like I mentioned. So without further ado, Mr. George, you can share your screen, then begin the conversation. Thank you. The floor is yours.
So thank you and welcome. And I would like to make this one as a discussion classroom, because each one of us has something to contribute about it. So today's topic is about farming with nature, whereby we are talking about farming, growing crops, rearing animals with nature. So nature, we should work with nature. It should be a mutual benefit, whereby we are farming and at the same time we are conserving the natural resources, the nature, the environment. So we should farm hand in hand with the nature, that is taking care of nature. That means that we should avoid taking soil as a medium. We should not take it as a medium, but we should take soil and other resources as living ecosystems, whereby if we do bad to them, they will also reciprocate whatever that negative effect to us too. So today we will look at how we can farm with nature, and that is by using agroecology to restore balance and productivity. That means that the balance between agriculture and nature has been long gone. So the relationship has been forgotten, because as human beings we are just looking at making profit without also looking at the welfare of the soils and also the ecosystems. So we should use agroecology to restore balance and productivity, and we want to explore how we can produce food sustainably while protecting our environment. So we are focusing about production and also taking care of our environment. That means we already have a problem which we are addressing. And what is that problem? Because the agriculture we are carrying out now is not sustainable at all. I would like us to, first of all, have a look at that type of agriculture which is not sustainable, so that we can see what is it. So that agriculture is what we are referring to as conventional farming, the one we are carrying out. And this type of agriculture, the modern farming, as they say it, this type of farming works against nature. It is against nature. This farming is an enemy of nature. And remember, when we are talking about nature, we should not just call it nature. We should call it Mother Nature. That is, in African language, we can say it is our mama, because it provides us with everything, the nature. So this kind of modern farming, the conventional farming, it relies heavily on chemicals and monocropping. It relies heavily on chemicals and monocropping. So this type of farming works against nature, and this type of agriculture relies heavily on chemicals and monoculture. The shortcut in which modern farmers want to use, the route of using chemicals and monoculture, that is growing only one type of crop for a long time. And remember that monoculture exhausts the soil because they just uptake one type of nutrient, therefore destroying soil structure. Yes, this modern farming has helped increase food production, but it has created very serious environmental and social challenges. Yes, we are benefiting right now, but in long run, we will have a problem on them. Those challenges Those challenges include soil degradation, that is the loss of nutrient, um, uh, poor soil structure, pollution of water sources because we are using excessive chemicals, whereby after there is rainfall, they are washed away to water bodies. Also, we lose biodiversity because, and when we are talking about biodiversity, we are talking about we have living things in the soil. So when you use chemicals, and these chemicals are non-selective, they kill everything. That means we lose biodiversity. And because of all those challenges posed, there is increased vulnerability to climate change because of the use of chemicals which are destroying the biodiversity. And therefore, because we have those challenges, that means we need sustainable solution. And what is that sustainable solution? It is only agroecology. It is the one which can solve that problem. Now, we have been talking about agroecology as the remedy of the challenges we have. And the main challenge, we have talked about environmental pollution, water bodies being contaminated, and soil degradation. Now, what is agroecology? Remember, in modern farming, we talked about monoculture, excessive use of chemicals. Now, what is agroecology? The one we want to use. Agroecology, we want to say that it is a holistic approach to agriculture that simultaneously applies ecological and social concept to the design and management of sustainable food and farming practices. We are talking about combining ecology and agriculture. Ecology mainly is our environment. Remember our environment? We are talking about plants, air, soil, and other natural resources. We are farming, we are producing, and at the same time taking care of our surrounding. So that means we should work with natural system. Those natural system, we should take care of them, because we should take a view whereby we view them as living things. So agroecology aims to create sustainable and resilient farming system. So that is generally what we are talking about, the agroecology we are talking about. We want to minimize the use of chemicals, and we also want to increase biodiversity. Now, agroecology, now it is being recognized globally, because nowadays it is the one which is being promoted by the FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, the World Organization, that one. And therefore, it is a movement which is growing worldwide, and it is being taken seriously as a sustainable solution to improve food system and support farmers. The core idea in agroecology, it is to farm in harmony with nature rather than against it. So we want to work with nature as a friend. We want to make nature to be our friend. And remember, friends walk hand in hand. Therefore, we should reduce external inputs like synthetic fertilizers and pesticides. So we want to do away with them as possible as we can. Now, we would like us to look at the principles of agroecology. The principles of agroecology. What are we going to do in agroecology? The principles, what we are supposed to do so that we can safely say we are practicing agroecology. So number one, we should embrace diversity. That is, growing different crops together, which improves resilience and reduces the risk of total crop failure. So if you plant more than 2 crops, more than 3 crops, if one crop fails, that means the others will give you food. So diversity is the one we are talking about. For example, intercropping. And intercropping, we are talking about growing multiple crops together. Example, maize and beans, whereby beans, which are legumes, they are able to fix nitrogen to the soil, that is from the air, and therefore maize can benefit from beans. And also, if you have a mixture of maize and beans, if a certain disease comes, it will not spread as fast if it is a maize-related disease, because there will be a barrier of beans. If it is a pest, then like that one. This one improves soil fertility because different crops uptake nutrients, different nutrients at different levels. There is one which is a heavy feeder, the other one is a light feeder. So they improve soil fertility. So intercropping reduces pest problems, improves soil fertility. Another way is of diversity is crop rotation. You are changing crops each season in the same field. At this plot you plant maize, then next season you will plant legumes, the other season you will plant vegetables, like that one. This one helps to prevent pest and disease build up over time. So if there is a certain disease which attacks maize, and then next season you plant beans, then that disease will not be able to thrive well because it doesn't have a host. And also this one improves soil nutrients. So diversity, which is achieved by intercropping and crop rotation. Number 2 is practicing soil health. Remember we said that soil is a living system, and therefore we should make sure that we try to incorporate a lot of organic matter. And how can we address the issue of soil health? The first one is through composting, recycling organic waste, which improves soil fertility. That is, if you uproot the weeds, if you have the plant residues, you can use them to make compost. That is, you can see the cycle here. The soil provides nutrients to that crop, so the crops are absorbing nutrients from the soil. Then after the crops grow, the residues, the leftovers, that one is to waste. You should, because it already has nutrient which it absorbed from the soil, you should return those nutrients to the soil. That is through composting. The other way to address the issue of soil health is through mulching. That is covering soil with plant material, which helps to retain moisture content, because you are preventing direct sunlight from reaching the soil, so you reduce the amount of evaporation. And also mulching suppresses the weeds. The weeds will not be able to germinate or grow very tall easily. And also when that dry mulch rots or decomposes, they improve soil health. Another way to address soil health is through reduced tillage. You try to reduce soil disturbance as possible, which helps to protect soil structure and to protect soil organism, because you do not expose those soil organisms to the sun. And also it prevents soil erosion, because if you reduce tillage, the soil will remain compact, and therefore if there is excess rainfall, then the soils will not be carried away easily, because the soil particles are intact. Another way of practicing agroecology is natural pest control. That is, you minimize the use of chemicals. So that means you can use beneficial insects like ladybugs to eat aphids, so they can control each other. And remember that nature has a way of working by itself. So we can also use biological methods to control pests. That is, you use a living organism to control a pest. That helps to avoid harmful chemicals. Remember that we said these harmful chemicals, they are non-selective. So they kill each and every organism they meet. And also, after they are washed away to water bodies, they cause water contamination at the water bodies. Another method of natural pest control is through companion planting. You plant two crops whereby one protects the other one. Example is marigolds, because they repel the pests, and therefore that means it helps to keep away. Another practice of another principle of agroecology is through agroforestry, whereby you grow trees, crops, and livestock at the same time. Trees are there, crops are there, and livestock is there. This creates a more diverse and productive system. It has many benefits because from the food, from the crops, you get the food. From the trees, you get the feed of the livestock. Also, the trees provide shade to the crops, and also all those organic matter drop down, decompose, enrich the soil. And also, because we are talking about global warming, which is caused by greenhouse gases, one of them is CO2. Remember that plants, when they are photosynthesizing, they absorb carbon dioxide from air, so they act as a store of carbon dioxide, from the air. That means they store carbon. When they decompose, you are able to bury that carbon in the soil, and therefore that carbon can also be used as a part of the nutrients to grow crops. And also, this arrangement of trees and different crops helps to reduce soil erosion. Then we should embrace water conservation. Remember that water is life. Plants, crops, animals, even us, we need water. So for the survival in agroecology, we need to conserve water. So we should use water wisely, and also remember that in a research or in some reports, they are indicating that we only have less than 2% of clean water in the world. 2% of the total water in the world is the one which is safe for drinking. So we should conserve water. So we should harvest the available water, which is rainwater. So we should reduce the waste of water. So how can we conserve water? Rainwater harvesting. You harvest water through the gutters so as to reduce water stress. So we should also reuse farm waste. We should recycle the resources. For example, you use crop residues and animal manure as fertilizer, and that one becomes a circular system. What is that circular system we are talking about? You have crops there. Those crops absorb nutrients from the soil. So the nutrients move from the soil to the crop. Then that crop is fed to an animal. That animal absorb those nutrients from that crop. Then when you use the animal manure to make compost, we return all those nutrients which had initially been taken away from the soil. We return it back to the soil. That is the cycle we are talking about. Plants absorb nutrients from the soil. It is fed to livestock. Transfer nutrients are there. Then animal manure return to the soil. That is a cycle of nutrients. That is what we are talking about, the circular system, recycling resources. Then environmental benefits of agroecology, because when we are talking about agroecology, we should talk about the environment. We restore the soil structure, the soil nutrient capacity. We also protect the biodiversity. We also conserve water in the soil. This makes farming more sustainable, because we are not destroying the environment. We are not destroying the natural ecosystem. We are working hand in hand with them. The economic benefits of agroecology: it lowers cost, therefore saving money. Remember, we are not spending any amount on buying chemicals. We are using the locally available materials. That means we are not spending money, so it saves the cost. And also, we ensure that we have sustainable yields. The social benefits is that it supports small-scale farmers. Small-scale farmers can be able to practice all those things, and also it strengthens the local food system. The farmer, we become more food secure, because farmers who could not have afforded to buy chemicals, they have alternative ways of ensuring that they grow crops. And also this preserves traditional knowledge, because we are using locally available materials which we have knowledge about them. That means it helps to preserve the traditional knowledge. The status of agroecology in agriculture. Agroecology is being adopted widely in agriculture because it is a climate resilience practice, and also it improves food security. In Kenya, we are embracing organic farming practices. For example, this is a college of sustainable ecological agriculture, whereby we train our students who also train farmers at large about organic farming practices. And also, people are adopting agroforestry at a higher rate, and we are also nowadays planting drought-resistant crops. That is all about agroecology. The case study of agroecology, as you can see there, the pictures, that the mixed farming system, growing crops, keeping livestock, and so on, which leads to soil fertility and also increases farmers' income. When we are talking about soil fertility, we are using manure from different animals, composting, and so on and so on. Farmer incomes, we are selling diverse products from animals and also from the plants. The climate change adaptation, when we practice agroecology, we are adapting to climate change, because we are planting drought-resistant crops. We are also managing the floods by planting different crops, mixed cropping, and helps to cope with unpredictable weather patterns, because we are farming in mind that we are conserving water. We are planting drought-resistant crops, so we are able to adapt the climate change. The main challenges in agroecology. Why are some people still not embracing agroecology? Knowledge gaps. They are not aware of the existence of agroecology. So even if they have knowledge, they have limited knowledge. And also lack of awareness, that is the same with the knowledge gaps, and also initial raw yields. Remember, when you want to practice agroecology, you don't see immediate results. The results come gradually. So initial raw yields, and remember that the nature of human being is to see instant results. What to do? What do we need to do so that we can boost the knowledge of agroecology? Number one, we conduct trainings and campaigns. We should conduct farmer training, that is extension services. The government should support policies about sustainable agricultural policies and provide resource to farmers. Then there should be a lot of innovations in agricultural colleges and research institutions which combine the traditional knowledge and science, so that we can be able to have new innovations. What is the role of the youth? Remember that youth are future farmers, and they are the innovation drivers. And also the community. We should share information with community, and also community share the resources like the water bodies, the soils, and so on. So they should cooperate. What is the future of farming? The future of farming lies in sustainable systems that balanced productivity, and also protecting environment, and also there should be a greater focus on food security because land sizes are decreasing, population is increasing, and the climate is changing. So we should focus the issue of food security. Now, we can say that agroecology restores balance, and agroecology is the key to sustainable productivity and food security. Now, my question to you, because you are listening to me, what is agroecology? You should ask yourself. You should also name the principles of agroecology. What are you supposed to do so that you can say you are practicing agroecology? What is the role of the youth in this context? Any questions? And thank you. That is farming with nature. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Wanji. I think the audience can join me using the reaction button to give a round of applause to you. Thank you so much for a insightful presentation. It was really very practical and knowledgeable and easy to understand. I think you simplified to the simplest terms that everyone could be able to understand, even if you don't have a background in agriculture. And personally, what really stand out is how you kept emphasizing on how agroecology challenges to think on how we work with land, how we work with soil, not just as resources, but also as a system that you are part of, but also as a system that gives us what we feed on. Recycling resources, keeping the resources around.
Certain disease, it will remain there for a long time. Number two, there is in case of crop failure, you lose nearly 100%. Remember that crop failure can be due to harsh weather conditions and also due to pests and diseases, so you can lose. Number three is that there is continuous removal of certain nutrient from the soil. So if the plant continues to uptake that same nutrient, that means it will deplete it. That means the soil structure will be destroyed because soil structure is made up of different nutrients. So continuous uptake. That's what I can say. If there is any other addition, I will come in it. Yeah.
Question from Victorine Jamabo.
Thank you. So my first question is because I'm interested in knowing more about rainwater harvesting, how we can proceed to collect water from the rain. Thank you. I want to know more about that.
Frozen. But for Victorine's question on rainwater harvesting, was it 2 weeks ago, we had Susan Romano from the same institution as George. It's the College of Sustainable Agriculture East Africa. She was talking about rainwater harvesting, and you can be on the outlook of what we will post on Share Screen Africa in June, because the talk is going to be uploaded late May, so you can be on the outlook of what we're going to post in June. The talk by Susan Romano, it's a very rich talk, and I'm sure enough you're going to learn a lot from it.
A sub question which was on measurement and data that we are talking about the agroecology. Most of we act randomly and we do not document a lot. I think she's asking about the standard data of how many people are adopting agroecology data. Do you have like figures or numbers within Kenya? I don't know, elsewhere if possible.
So what I can say is that because we don't have exact figure, the number keeps on increasing as we continue preaching that gospel about agroecology. So it is we cannot say that they are this way because each and every day, the farmers keeps on changing their new methods of farming. So the data per se is not tabulated data, but there is increasing adoption of agroecology.
I can welcome Sabast or Mel. I think you had a comment for us. And the speakers here, you can.
Again, it is my pleasure to meeting with you in the second informative online. I hope it will be continue for future and for other meetings. I agree with the totally changed mind. For example, before, according to my country or situation, for example, we used 1 liter of water, for example, for irrigation, another 1 liter for industrial, another 1 liter, for example, livestock is like this. But now totally changed mind. We need, for example, in 1 liter water, achieve many goals in the same time, for example, for in agriculture sector, reusing for industrial area or urban or watering another like this. I am happy for this situation, but we need more innovations and we need more cooperation at international and national levels. In my country, actually, I am feeling sad so far. We have 4 seasons in a year. We have a lot of maintenance, hills, and fertilized soils and plain too much plainest soil. For example, mussel plain, anbar plain, and sharazur plain, between plain and herbal plain as well. But so far we are not managing and using an academically which adaptation with the climate change like this. From my side or from my family, which we are have an agricultural land using every year. In my region, unfortunately, we are not practicing, for example, crop rotation. The main challenges for agriculture or for farmers in my country is less or not good access marketing. Why all farmers like or depend on using or plant sowing, for example, with seed is because at the moment selling wheat a little bit better than other crops, like for example lentils, chickpea, or like this. Why farmers using every year the same crop? You know, if not practicing crop rotation, it has many side effects. For example, increasing disease and efficiency soil for some limited nutrients like this. Totally, I agree with this seminar you presented now, but it is not easy, or we have challenging to transferring and to using in my country, because we have, for example, as mentioned, the lack of marketing. It is main challenging problem facing for farmers.
Yes, Emmanuel.
Yes. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure meeting you all here with such an interesting topic. Actually, I'm Emmanuel from Tanzania. And well, I've been really very much interested in what you guys have presented here, because I'm also from the place where these farming activities are taking place. But as of now, the idea of agroecology, I find it very useful, because I'm trying to trace back in the 90s I'm actually from the slope of Mount Kilimanjaro. In the
Mhm.
90s, we used to harvest a lot. I mean, in an acre, you could harvest like 15 bags of beans or 30 to 35 bags of maize in an acre. But now it's totally different. In an acre, you can harvest not more than 5 bags if we have enough rain. And from my experience and what I can say, it's that there has been a lot of, the use of chemicals as opposed to the previous time. In the past, people could farm and up to the harvesting and they don't use any kind of chemicals. But as of now, they will start using chemical even before they plant anything, like they can poison the grass before they cultivate or whatever. And some may not even do the weeding. They can just do they don't do the weeding. They use some chemicals and everything. So it's like, from what you guys have presented, it now gives me a picture that our soil is really, really affected, and it needs a collective effort to restore the soil fertility, but also generally the health of the soil has to be restored. So I'm interested with what is going on, and maybe later if you will have like topics on how to restore this, or if you guys are also doing this, out of Kenya, and we can see on what we can do at least to help these farmers to harvest like before.
Okay.
Tian, and thank you so much. I actually want to thank Emmanuel for his question because it's such a practical question. It's almost the same question that Tian started the event with. So it just shows you that that is a real issue for many farmers. So George, I don't know. I actually want to withdraw my question and ask if you want to give advice to Emmanuel. My question was, if somebody would start farming from scratch somewhere, say on half an hectare of land, and he's got a little bit of water, but not too much. Conventionally, the tractor would come in, there would be tilling, there would be chemicals. How would the plan look, the basics of the plan, if it's through agroecology as opposed to conventional farming?
Okay, thank you and welcome. So, from the point of agroecology, I will focus, first of all, not to disturb soil. I will minimize the level of soil disturbance. So I would go for, depending on the type of crops. Remember the previous talks, we talked about the zypids, that is for maybe for deep-rooted crops. So I could use minimum cultivation. So I would better use minimum cultivation, whereby I will practice a kind of cultivation which has a minimum disturbance to the soil. That is minimum cultivation. It depends on the type of crop. Then from there, I would plan about soil fertility, because other farmers in conventional farming, first of all, we plan about soil fertility. So in this, our agroecology, I would plan about composting, and also try to focus on the seeds which fits that zone, that agroecological zone, because I would look at crops which are resilient, crops which can withstand the climate and also be able to resist from attack from pests and diseases. That is agroecological zone, I would consider. So soil fertility, seeds which are fit to that agroecological zone, and then I would focus on management practices which use less chemicals. So I would focus on that. Remember, in agroecology, we are not talking about just cash crops. We are talking about food crops. That is food security, from the food security point of it. Because we can plant cash crops. Let us assume a country plants, everybody plants cash crop. Where are they going to get food? So agroecology is focusing on food crops. So I think I've answered your question.
Yeah, and it's very short on what Sarbast talked about on marketing. It's an issue. It's not only in Iraq, it's across our continent. We face it here in Rwanda, have colleagues in different parts of the continent, Uganda, Kenya, who face the same issue as well. With Cultivate Africa, it's like you saw our plan. Within this month, we were talking about nature-based farming, but for the upcoming month of June, we're going to talk about agribusiness and value chain development. So you're welcome to join in for the month of June. We'll be talking about all that from farm to fork, from tilling to packaging to selling to customers. So you are very much welcome to join and contribute on let's say the situation in Iraq and how you're dealing with it. So that's the current plan as of now.
Again, Mr. George, if you have concluding remarks for us or action plan, key things that we should keep in mind about agroecology. Otherwise, we call it at the end. So, George, you're welcome.
So thank you for hosting me. I would like to emphasize on the growing crops and also protecting environment. Environment is our friend. Environment is alive. It should be a mutual benefit between us and the environment. When I'm talking about environment, I'm talking about biodiversity, water, and also the soil at large and microorganism. So what I would also like to thank you for giving this chance, and also my principal, Madam Mukiri, is here, and also my students. I can see some of them are here, and also my colleagues, I can see them here, and also you, Diane, for hosting me, Robert, others, and all the way from Iraq. I would like to thank everybody for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. George Mwangi and the entire team from Sustainable College of Agriculture. We appreciate your support and agreeing to give your experience, your knowledge in agriculture system. So I will call it an end. So have a great evening, everyone.